Hi, my name is Annie, and welcome to the Walking Word, where we go through the Holy Bible in a year as part of discipling. We are reading from the book of Leviticus, which is a legislative book. It is where God has given his statutes, his precepts, his commandments, and his laws for Israelites, and largely um, for Gentiles who will all be blessed through the lineage of Abraham. Chapter 27, Redemption of Votive Offerings. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when anyone fulfills a vow of offering one or more persons to the Lord, who are to be ransomed at a fixed sum of money, for persons between the ages of 20 and 60, the sum fixed in sanctuary shekels shall be 50 silver shekels for a man and 30 shekels for a woman. For persons between the age of 5 and 20, the sum shall be 20 shekels for a youth and 10 for a maiden. For persons between the ages of 1 month and 5 years, the sum shall be 5 silver shekels for a boy and 3 for a girl. For persons of 60 or more, the sum shall be 15 shekels for a man and 10 for a woman. However, if the one who took the vow is too poor to meet the fixed sum, the person must be set before the priest, who shall determine the sum for his ransom in keeping with the means of the one who made the vow. If the offering vowed to the Lord is an animal that may be sacrificed, even such an animal, when vowed to the Lord, becomes sacred. The offerer, the one bringing the offering, shall not present a substitute for it by exchanging either a better or a worse one, or a worse for a better one. If he attempts to offer one animal in place of another, both the original and the substitute shall be treated as sacred. If the animal vowed to the Lord is unclean and therefore unfit for sacrifice, it must be set before the priest, who shall determine its value in keeping with its good and bad qualities, and the value set by the priest shall stand. If the offerer wishes to redeem the animal, he shall pay one fifth more than its valuation. When someone dedicates his house as sacred to the Lord, and this is why whenever you move to a new house, new neighborhood, new city, new town, always get your house blessed and pray over the house. When someone dictates his house as sacred to the Lord, the priest shall determine its value in keeping with its good and bad points, and the value set by the priest shall stand. If the one who dictated his house wishes to redeem it, he shall pay 1/5 more than the price thus established, and then it will again be his. If the object which someone dictates to the Lord is a piece of his hereditary land, so this is ancestral land, its valuation shall be made according to the amount of seed required to sow it. Okay, the acreage sown with a homer of barley seed being valued at 50 silver shekels. If the dedication of a field is made and the beginning of of a jubilee period, the full valuation shall hold. Remember, jubilee was the year of rest, the seventh year of rest. We work for 6 years, and on the seventh year we rest, right? Okay. So on that year, the valuation will be taken as full amount. Okay. But if it is some time after the Jubilee year, the priest shall estimate its money value according to the number of years left until the next Jubilee year, with a corresponding rebate on the valuation. If the one who dedicated his field wishes to redeem it, he shall pay 1/5 more than the price thus established, and so reclaim it. If instead of redeeming such a field, he sells it to someone else, it may no longer be redeemed. But at that jubilee, it shall be released as sacred to the Lord. Like a field that is doomed, it shall become priestly property. Don't touch the things for priests, because they're sacred unto the Lord. If the field that some man dedicates to the Lord is one he had purchased and not part of his hereditary property, the priest shall compute its value in proportion to the number of years until the next Jubilee. And on the same day, the price thus established shall be given as sacred to the Lord. At the Jubilee, however, the field shall revert to the hereditary owner of this land from whom it had been purchased. Woo! Every valuation shall be made according to the standard of the sanctuary shekel. There are 20 gerahs to the shekel. Okay. Oh, God is very particular about Sabbath, very particular about rest. And remember, rest, Sabbath is time with God. Okay. We're in verse 26. Note that a firstborn animal, which as such as already belongs to the Lord, may not be dedicated by vow to him. If it is an ox or a sheep, it shall be ceded to the Lord. But if it is an unclean animal, it may be redeemed by paying 1/5 more than its fixed value. If it is not redeemed, it shall be sold at its fixed value. Note also that any of his possessions which a man vows as doomed to the Lord, whether it is a human being or an animal or a hereditary field, shall be neither sold nor ransomed. Everything that is thus doomed becomes most sacred to the Lord. All human beings that are doomed lose the right to be redeemed. They must be put to death. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Okay. All tithes of the land, whether in grain from the fields or in fruit from the trees, belong to the Lord as sacred to him. If someone wishes to buy back any of these tithes, he shall pay 1/5 more than their value. Okay. If someone wishes to buy back any of his tithes, he shall pay 1/5 more than their value. So you pay 1/5 more than the tithe you actually want to claim back. Okay. The tithes of the herd and the flock shall be determined by seeding the Lord as sacred every 10th animal, as they are counted by the herdsman's rod. It shall no matter whether good ones or bad ones are thus chosen, and no exchange may be made. If any exchange is attempted, both the original animal and its substitute shall be treated as sacred without the right of being bought back. These are the commandments which the Lord gave Moses on Mount Sinai for Israelites. Oh, wow. And we come to the end of the book of Leviticus. We'll be tackling Numbers in the next chapters, in the next video. Have a blessed day.